Okay, so for this week, I decided to do, I think it was option 1. Think of different specific examples of things you learned through the different types of learning. So classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and observable learning or latent learning. So I just got all of my information this week from the textbook. I swear I had to reread it like 500 times to try to understand what was going on. So I'm sorry if this video is kind of all over the place. But I did think that learning about learning was kind of cool, even though it was kind of confusing to me. But it was kind of cool to see some of the things I've heard people talk about, like with positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, like all of that stuff, to see it actually like in a textbook and how it actually works and everything. So the first one that we had to do was classical conditioning. The example or the definition in the textbook was learning in which the stimulus or experience occurs before the behavior and then gets paired or associated with the behavior. So in the book, the example was you might see a flash of lightning in the sky during a storm and then hear a loud boom of thunder. The sound of thunder naturally makes you jump. Loud noises have that effect by reflex. So what I chose to do, which I hope it goes along with it, is the smell of something, like a food you hate, and then you just can't even look at that food the same. For me, it's the smell of Hawaiian haystacks. I hate them because of the smell. And I think with that, I was using USC, which is stimulus that elicits a reflexive response. So my sense of smell is reflecting something in me that makes me think I hate Hawaiian haystacks. And when I was thinking of this, I was like, gosh, I should really try them again. Like, I haven't tried them for years, but something in me just, nope, I hate them. So it's a stimulus or experience that occurs before the behavior. So before I'm even eating it, the stimulus of the smell is just like, nope, I can't do it. The next one was operant conditioning. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. The definition in the book again was form of learning in which the stimulus/experience happens after the behavior is demonstrated. So when I was reading about this one, it seems to happen a lot. You use this one a lot for like dogs, which was really cool to learn about because I have a dog. So I felt like I kind of got to learn exactly like the training things that we're doing with him, what they are and the correct terminology and things like that. But something that I've learned in my everyday life is diets, I think goes with this one. I made choices to eat better and exercise, which leads me to feeling more confident, feeling happy, and having positive consequences. So in one of the things in the books, it says that you can have consequences with this one, positive or negative. So for me, when I go on a diet, I feel like I'm getting positive consequences from it. In other words, positive reinforcement. So I'm having positive reinforcement by knowing what I eat or how I exercise is going to positively impact my life and make me hopefully some days want to continue to eat better and exercise. The next one was observational learning or latent learning. So the definition in the book for latent learning was learning that occurs, but it may not be evident until there is a reason to demonstrate it. Which I think that we probably use this a lot more in our lives than we think we do. Like, we have all these skills and knowledge in our brain, and then when it has to happen, it all of a sudden does. Something that I chose to compare it to was my job. I feel like for my job, there's a lot of things that I probably know how to do and just never think about it. And it was really interesting when I got thinking about it, is it's like, if I were to know that I would get paid more or something, would I be more willing to pull that knowledge out of my head and start using it? Which was really interesting. Another thing that I came up with an example of in everyday life was a computer. I got a new computer when I started school like a year and a half ago, and all of a sudden when I got this new computer, I started like pulling out all these cool computer skills and like using my keyboard for things that I usually use my mouse for. So I think that's also latent learning. That was knowledge I honestly didn't even remember or knew that I had. And then I got my new computer and it was exciting and it felt cool. And so all of a sudden I just started using it. So yeah, that was my option that I picked this week. So my question for you guys is, did you think it was also hard to understand learning about learning? I mean, I feel like I need to still go read the chapter like 5 times to try to understand what I was learning. So that's my question. Did you think it was hard to understand learning about learning?